Welcome back to the channel. You can see here we've got our MPC One Plus. We built this a little while back. So today we're going to build a desk. We're just going to hide our collection out of the way. So first of all, we're going to create a cube. We're just going to resize it. Put this our thing back on just so we can see how big our desk is going to be. Let's just move that up there, and then we're going to make this to a nice size, maybe that sort of size. We've got a nice big area. Okay, I am happy with that. So let's just turn that on so we can see everything a little better. Right, so what we need to do next is side bits. Let's just scale that down like so. Let's just make that a bit smaller. These are going to be the side legs. That will fit obviously on the side. You're welcome. Let's just crank that up a bit like that. And then what we're going to do is just edit, get those edges, maybe bring it in like that, and that one there. Maybe something like that. Okay. And then what we're going to do is Control A and reset the scale, edit number 3 for the face. And then we're going to inset like about there, right click, bridge faces, bada bing, bada boom. And there we've got our first leg. Maybe we could select all and then bevel. And then let's just crank up those segments. So it's a nice, I'm going to give it a bit of color now, which would just be black or maybe like a charcoal gray, like so. And then what we can do is just Shift D on the X, put it on over there. What we need to do now is add the shelving unit at the back there. So Shift A, let's create another cube. Let's bring it onto the back. And then we're going to narrow it in on because on here, we want to chuck the monitors, the speakers. So just create like that. And a little bit like that. Now, do we have it? So it goes all the way along the back there. Yeah, let's do that. Shift D on the X. And then what we can do is if we just select both of those and then edit, Control R, Control R, and then Shift Alt and select, and then we could bring those both up. And then what we'll do is we'll just join those, Control J. So they're both one unit now. Number 3 for faces. Select both of those, and then we can just bridge. Bada bing, bada boom. So that's where our monitor and speakers are going to be. Now we're looking with that. Yeah, it's quite nice. What we need under here maybe is we want cupboards on either side. Yeah, let's just build some cupboards in. Let's create another cube, scale it down, just sling it under there, narrow it down a bit. So one's going to be like, or do we need just one cupboard? Should we just have one cupboard? I don't know. Let's put that on there. Like so. And then we can, is that a deep enough cupboard? Maybe it's too deep. So it's not quite on the floor, so the desk can be moved about. Go into edit, control A, reset scale, go to edit, select place, inset, like so. And then what we're going to do is just extrude it on the Y, extrude on the Y. Bada bing, bada boom. And what we're going to do now, what I'm going to do is Shift D. So select that bottom face, Shift D on the Z. And then we can, I'm going to do P selection. And then we've got that. And then we can go to edit just that. Extrude on the Z. So that's one shell. Shift duplicate on the Z. That's the second shell. Now for the front, I suppose we could just leave it like that. Do we need a door in the front there? Shift D on the X. I mean, obviously, if you want to put a door in the front, you can. What I would suggest, if you want it to make the exact size, is just go to edit mode, select those 4 corner vertices, Shift D on the Y, P for selection, come out of your edit, just select that, edit, A to select all, F to face, P on the Y, extrude. And there's your door to the exact size that you need. Right, we need to reset this to the object. So go into object, set the origin to geometry. And there's your front door, and then you can obviously make a hand thing if you want. So I'm quite happy with that. We also need, we could just duplicate this, Shift D on the Z. Let's scale that down so it's just inside, and scale that down like there. So this is the bit that's going to come sliding out with the keyboard on. Whoop. Do you want that? Do we need that? That's how it's going to be for now anyway. And let's just move those back in a little bit because yeah. That will do for now. I'm just going to put a bit of a backlight just a minute. That's lighting. I'm going to do DU and denoise. Also going to lay move everything up on the floor. Select everything there except for the plane. And then we're on the floor. We can select the plane and then scale that up so it's a bit of a ground. That looks really cool. What do you reckon? How are you? Good at it. I mean, obviously, the materials on there, which we'll do later. Let's make that a bit darker just so we can see what we there we have it so far. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to hit that bell. And see you later.